All right, so it is officially that time of the week again. We've got ourselves a brand new fish update. As you guys know, this is more of one of the filler weeks, so it isn't really the craziest update, but surprisingly, there is 2 brand new mechanics in the game. So let's pretty much give you guys the full breakdown on how this is going to work, specifically starting with the global fishes. Now, to my knowledge, global fish pools is kind of the internal name. They're actually called apex fishes, and the way it works, it's actually rather simple. So every hour, an apex fish is going to spawn either in the first sea or in the second sea. If you look over here in the chat on the top left-hand side, it says global event, an apex leviathan has been spotted near Pine Shoal. And as you can see right over here, global amount 123 out of 500. If we go ahead and activate our radar, you'll notice that the square is actually rather small. So I do recommend that you guys turn on your radar when you are chasing after this, because he sort of swims in a really big circle, but technically speaking, the actual area to be able to catch him is fairly small compared to the circle that he does. This just dropped from 123 all the way down to 74. So I should probably get started on fishing this. Now, when you do finally hook this guy, it's going to be very obvious. It's a negative 97%, and he sort of has like a unique kind of like bar, for example. You didn't really catch it there at the beginning, but it comes out as blue. If you notice, I caught it. Now it dropped to 73 out of 500. And I mean, honestly, with the Astro hook rod, that was extremely easy. Now, this is what he looks like right here when you go ahead and catch him. Actually, a pretty cool looking fish, which I do want to go ahead and point out that inside of your inventory, he's technically labeled as a limited fish right now. But that's more than likely going to change, and that's because a poll was actually made over in the tester Discord server where they basically said that they want to have their own rarity for it. So it'll more than likely be an apex rarity by the time that this update goes live for you guys. Now, this doesn't mean anything crazy or anything like that. It is sort of still considered a limited fish. The only difference is that it's going to have the apex rarity, so that way you can tell exactly where it came from. Now, keep in mind, every single one of these fish are going to have a limited quantity, that be in the second sea or in the first sea. The catch is, like I showed you guys before, huge chunks. Like it just went from 43 all the way down to 9. And that's because it usually updates every like 15 minutes or so. It's rather slow, I know, but that's just the way that they did it, I guess. I don't know. Now, in total, there is only 2 apex fish right now. In the future, I'm assuming that they're going to have either more, or they're going to be shuffling between different types of fish, maybe like every single week or every month. I don't know exactly yet. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that if you're in a public server and you notice that an apex leviathan or an apex fish goes ahead and spawns, and instead you're like, hey man, I'm going to rush over to my private server so that way no one is bothering me. Unless that private server was already open when the apex pool opened, either in the first or the second sea, then you will unfortunately not see it in that brand new server. So keep that in mind. You may want to stay inside of the public server, even though technically it's going to be in all the public servers. So you can just go ahead and just join a new one. Now, this one just went ahead and went from 9 to 0 and gone. But yeah, just sort of like a cool little addition. We'll go ahead and check out the first sea one in just a second. Actually, might already have it in my best series, so hold on a sec. So yeah, to find this, it's going to be in the open ocean tab. You'll see it all the way at the very bottom here. Preferred bait is the luminous larva, but as for the first sea one, we're going to have to switch over there to go ahead and show you it. Give me one sec. Now, as a matter of fact, before we go ahead and transition over to the first sea so I can show you guys the apex fish there, currently there's a blue moon active, and I want to show you guys one of the other new features that are located not only in the second sea, but also in the first sea, and that is potions. So basically, when you come inside of here, in either of the seas, specifically the area where the blue moon would go ahead and let you fish, you're going to find a very familiar NPC, being the fish fright witch NPC, or whatever you want to call it. And of course, the famous cauldron. If you go ahead and interact with this, it'll allow you to go ahead and create a variety of different potions. You have all season potion, luck potion, glitch potion, and the lure speed potion. Every single one of these, minus the all season, have different tiers that it can possibly get. For the most part, all of these are pretty straightforward, except for maybe like the all season. It says this potion makes fish that are specific to a season possible to be caught even outside of the season. Alongside a moderate boost to lure speed, this potion has a 20% chance of becoming available in the recipe UI when changing seasons. So if we went ahead and, for example, clicked on the all season one, these are the ingredients that we would basically have to get: an orca, a moby, as well as a crystallized sea dragon. Place them all on the pedestal, and we get ourselves our potion. Keep in mind, right? You cannot go back in and change it once you have selected that potion. So you need to go ahead and get this done, where you will then go ahead and obtain the potion right here. Each and every one of these are labeled as exotic. So again, this is what the all season one looks like. I know that it's kind of blue right now because of the filter of the blue moon, but over here we have the glitch potion. We've got the luck potion, as well as the lure speed potion. Keep in mind, none of these potions actually stack with each other. So that's something really important to keep in mind. So don't think that you can basically go ahead and, open up your inventory here and drink 2 luck potions back to back. No, that's not how it works. If you notice, it's not going to let you, but I can go ahead and take a luck potion and a lure speed potion and a glitch potion. You can go ahead and basically do that. So in that aspect, they do go ahead and stack, just not each and every single one of them, if that makes sense. Now, as promised before, here is the first sea apex fish. It is called the moss lurker. Preferred bait for this is shark head, and this is basically what the guy looks like. Actually pretty sick. Now, as far as new free content, that's pretty much everything for this update. Again, keep in mind, this is sort of like a smaller update. The next major update for the game is going to be on May 31st, based off of what it says on the front page of the game. Of course, like we always do, we are going to go over everything inside of the shop. Keep in mind, everything from this point moving forward is for Robux, so you can go ahead and stick around if you're interested in finding out what some of this stuff looks like, as well as some of the stats. But if you're not interested, then you could pretty much move on from this video at this point. Now, for starters, on the right hand side, you're going to see a button called limited merch. This is basically all of the real life merch for fish. Every single item that you purchase will go ahead and have some type of reward attached to it. Keep in mind, this is not for Robux, it is for real life currency. So for example, you have a pufferfish plushie over here on the right hand side. There's going to be a limited quantity of this. If you purchase that pufferfish, it will come with an in-game code that you can then redeem the Heaven's Rod skin. Same goes for the squid tee, as well as the Roselet tee over here, Roselet hoodie. Every single thing in here basically has a custom code with a custom reward in game. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go through all of those in this video, but if you're interested, maybe I can go ahead and get my hands on one of everything and show it to you guys in the future. Right now, we're going to be focused on the bundle, as well as the new boat and the new skins. Starting with the bundle, we have the Blue Cat bundle, which comes with a Blue Cat boat, tier 3 lure speed potions, and 64 times luck for 1 hour. Now, the potions, we pretty much went over all of these, so I'm sure you guys fully understand that, but the bundle boat has 235 speed, 70 steering with a 0.8 second acceleration. Once you spawn it in, this is what it looks like right here. It is a 3-seater boat. Nice little cool animation, nothing really too crazy. Definitely not like the best looking boat in the entire game, but that's what it is right there. Next one is the limited quantity, which is the Silent Speeder. This one has 240 speed, 90 steering with a 0.9 second acceleration. Basically just a reskin jet ski, in other words. Does have a really cool sort of like particle effect on the back, and it is fairly fast. Oh, look, over here we have a moss lurker that's up right now. Pretty cool. Now, down here we have the Superstar Rod, which is for the Walmart Discovered Pass. This has actually been in the game, to my knowledge, for a couple days now, if I'm not mistaken. I'll go ahead and show you guys the stats if you're interested. It is 50% lure speed, 70% luck, 0.1 control, 15% resilience with 10,000 max kg. Pretty cool looking. To my knowledge, it does not have a passive, but it is, like I said, a fairly cool looking rod. But that one is, again, strictly just for Robux, and it is a rod. So I don't know how I feel about that one, but it is what it is. I think we're past it at this point. Now we're getting into the skins. So we're going to start off with the Arctic Rod, which has the Midas Avalanche skin. There it is right there. Nothing really too crazy at all. Actually, a fairly basic skin. Probably one of the most basic skins out of all of the ones that are sort of like for Robux and stuff like that. Not my favorite. Don't even want to spend too much time on this. We're moving on. Next one on the list is the Alvin's Revenge, which is for the Great Rod of Oscar. This one, I'm actually a pretty big fan of. Looks way better than the original Oscar rod. Actually fairly cool, and for a really good rod. So definitely a fan of this one. But now finally, the final one is the Pineapple Play skin for the Carrot Rod. That's right, your Carrot Rod is now going to turn into a pineapple. which is kind of odd, but it is what it is. That is what the skin is. I'm actually a pretty big fan of this one, but the one thing that I'm not a fan of is the concept of having to pay for the skins. Oh, dude, it actually shoots down. Wait, what is happening? What is that on the water? Does this actually say that it has cool animations and stuff like that? It doesn't even say that it has an animation, but apparently it does. So the actual skin, or the rod, I should say, sort of like slams down into, actually pretty cool. But yeah, overall, I'm just not really a fan of the whole entire having to pay for skins and stuff like that. So if this is for you and it's your cup of tea, then by all means, go for it. Now you know what they look like. But with that being said, that pretty much wraps up this week's update. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and it helped you out. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.